Next, let's begin some basic scene editing. Switch to the Scene Objects tab and we'll begin by manipulating the current scene. Start by selecting some objects, either through the selection panel or through the SunBurn game window. While hovering over the selection gizmos, an outline of the object will show up, helping you identify which object the gizmo belongs to. You can select objects individually or multi-select by holding the Control key. Once you have something selected, you can edit the properties of the objects at the top or move them directly in the SunBurn game window. Currently, translation mode is active, as indicated by this button. You can click and hold the translation gizmo in the game window to move objects around. Click the Editing Mode button to switch to Rotation mode, and now the gizmos will spin your objects in place. Finally, click the Editing Mode button again to switch to Scale mode. This mode allows you to uniformly scale your objects. You can also right-click on your selected objects and use Apply Transform to Object. This allows you to precisely type in a relative transform. It is important to note that this transform is relative and not absolute, meaning that if I type in a translation of 0, 10, 0, the object will move up 10 units, not move to the position 0, 10, 0. Next, let's add some new models by importing them into the content repository. I'll assume you have some models ready to go, created in your 3D modeling application. You'll need the models in FBX or X format, and they should be in the same directory structure as your content project. If you don't have any models, you can use some from one of our examples at synapsegaming.com. To import the model, right-click on the content repository and select Import Model. Browse to the file and then open it. The SunBurn Editor will now process and build your model for use in-game. This may take a few moments depending on the size. Once it has finished, the model is ready to use. This model is now stored in the content repository and can be used in the future at any time. To add a model to the scene, simply select it from the content repository, then drag and drop it to a scene group in the selection panel. The behavior for adding a model depends on where you drag and drop it. Check the documentation for more details. For now, always drag the entire model onto a scene group. Your model should now show up in front of you and be selected. If you cannot see it, it may be too large or too small. Change the editing mode to scale and bring the model into view. You can also use the translation and rotation modes to position the model where you want it. In the next video, we will show you how to add some lights to the scene.